I just got done watching King Vader's fan film, Strange Blades, Blade vs. Ghost Rider. King Vader is a filmmaker on YouTube that's known for a lot of his high-quality skits and short films. He's garnered a pretty large following in the content creator space. I've known about King Vader for a while, but admittedly, this is my first production of his I'm actually sitting down to watch, and as far as first impressions go, I'm impressed. For a general idea of the premise, Blade is going about his normal activities like killing vampires and hanging out with his girl. You know, like everyone does. When he's suddenly attacked by the spirit of vengeance himself, Ghost Rider. After a pretty short but intense encounter, Blade is left confused and goes on a journey to find out why this happened. By doing so, he encounters familiar characters from the Marvel Universe and a surprise cameo from one of the coolest comic characters ever created. Whenever I watch fan projects, I'm always looking for two things: passion and competent filmmaking. You don't need a big budget film production with all the bells and whistles to capture these things. All you really need is a camera and some heart, and you're good to go. I'm happy to say that I saw both of those aspects here. I can tell that Vader and his team clearly have a love for Blade and take heavy inspiration from the superhero films of the early 2000s. It's especially evident by the campiness of the dialogue, filled with one-liners taken directly from the first Blade movie, and I think it's pretty neat.
Clubs closed.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes.
My favorite part of the film is the club sequence. You see, early on in the movie, Blade infiltrates this vampire nightclub and he proceeds to massacre everything in there. I think this scene has some of the best editing and action choreography in the entire movie. It's really hard to make good fight scenes because a lot of people run into the issue of properly capturing the important parts of the action in frame and also having way too many cuts that kill the pacing of the fight. So the fact that they were able to pull this off as well as they did is really cool and honestly high-key inspiring. Look at that lighting. Every shot here is like a wallpaper. Another thing I want to praise is the VFX work in the movie. The VFX team did a great job all around, but I think the compositing on Ghost Rider is especially stellar. Towards the end of the movie, there's a fight scene, and you can tell rent was due because, my god, did they go off. Now, as much as I like the movie, it's not without flaws. For one, I think the scene in the Sanctum Sanctorum slows down the pacing of the movie by a lot. It drags on a bit too much for my liking. The inclusion of Wong and the FBI guy is humorous, but it doesn't add much to the overall scene. I just feel like the information we have to get from the dialogue would be just fine without them being here. Speaking of dialogue, I think that sometimes it comes off a bit stilted because of the delivery from some of the actors. The one scene that comes to mind is when Cassandra is injured by Ghost Rider, so Blade takes her to see his friend Hannibal. This is one of the main parts of the movie where the lines come off as really unnatural sounding to me, mainly from the actor that plays Hannibal himself.
His head was on fire.
On fire?
Attacked us with this.
That's the chain of a Ghost Rider. I'd recognize it anywhere.
Either some other takes or just a bit more direction for the character could have been really helpful here. Outside of those gripes, I think this is a really well-made fan film that is the first part of what I assume is a multi-part story. I don't want to delve into any spoilers because the surprise twist at the end is something that needs to be experienced by everyone. So go check this out. It clocks in at less than an hour and overall is a pretty fun watch. I can say that King Vader has made a new fan out of me, and I can't wait to see what other projects him and his team put out in the future. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. You know, like everyone does. The fucking lawnmower outside is